Oh,
So not easily torn is basically just saying that even though life may get heavy, situations may get heavy, you don't have to tear apart.
Yeah, don't be so easy to give up.
Not just help out married couples, but to actually
Yeah.
show them that you can have troubles and that doesn't mean that it has to end.
No, you can do it.
So now you feel about trust. Do you feel like you have to trust a person in order to be married to a person?
It's hard because I feel like you trust no one. Like, you love people, but trusting them, people are human, so trust can go but so far. Like, I can just trust you to be who you are, and that's human. And human people make mistakes and do the best that they can do, you know? So I trust you to be the best that you can be, and that's it. I mean, when you fail, when you fall, when you disappoint, it's my job to love. So that's what I can control. I can't control your actions, I only can control mine. So I just think it's best to show love. And in return, my expectations is to receive love. But like I said, I can't control your actions.
So I believe that most couples, they build things on trust, and when that trust is broken, the relationship is broken, because that's all it was built on. Because when it's built on love, love supersedes trust. I've even had conversations with a lot of my friends, and it was like, "Oh, that sounds stupid. I'm not going to mess with somebody that's broken my trust." But when someone gives you a reason not to love them, which you do in spite of what their actions was, prove whether or not you really love them or not. Because we want to love conditionally. Like, I'll love you as long as you treat me good. Or I'll love you as long as everything is going according to plan for me. Or how I suppose, or how I thought it in my mind to be. So I believe that trust is not something that you should throw aside, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. In marriage, if anybody has been married any amount of time, you are going to have those days when you feel like, yo, I can't do this. This person just made me angry. If you have a relationship where you never had an argument, you really won't know how to get past when you do have one, you know? Some people are like, oh, we don't fuss, we don't argue, we don't disagree. But when that situation do happen, because nobody's going to totally agree with everything.
Right, and what is your response when you don't get what you want?
Right, because your response to not getting your way, it also often shows how mature you are. Yeah. April is a very OCD. She's very OCD. Yeah, so she's very tidy. And so, not to say that I'm no slob or anything, but at the same time, if I come home from work and I may drop my uniform by the door or something, I'm like, day at work, I'm just trying to get out of my uniform and just probably relax a little bit. And I tell people, like, when I come home from work, I need at least like 30 minutes for me to wind down from work.
In my mind, I'm thinking, like, take 2 of those minutes to take off your uniform and put them in the dirty clothes hamper, because that's like where they belong.
And so this little small difference between the two of us, that can be a big problem for most people if they don't know how to learn their partner.
Right.
Because I believe in learning your partner, you learn what makes them tick, what are their pet peeves, right?
Yeah.
So we wasn't ready, we didn't know. Explain what happened.
Like, but I feel like we grew together.
We got a relationship with each other. It's more so you're in tune with the things that I like and the things that I dislike. And so if you know something that will hurt me, because you love me, you won't do things to hurt me.
Exactly.
And so vice versa with our relationship with God. And so we know that He's very big on marriage. And so you don't want to mess our marriage up because we don't want to hurt Him at the same time. But in that same essence or in that same breath, we love each other the same. The same way I love God. You know what I mean? I love my wife also. And so those three channels, like me loving God, so it keeps me, I want to say, in not integrity, but me and my relationship with God as an individual before I become a husband. My relationship with God keeps me as my morals intact. It keeps it's like my compass and guide me in life. And so when I meet a woman, I'm not just not doing things to hurt her, but I'm not doing things to disrespect myself. And we've had issues where though we both didn't always get it right, but in the same token, we always were able to come back and say, hey, like, let's make it work.
Right, and forgiveness.
And forgiveness. And that's a big key, because forgiveness is the one thing that most people can't grasp that concept of forgiving, because they'll forgive, but yet they'll always bring up what they was.
Yeah, so they're holding a grudge or.
And it's always that you made me hurt, so I want you to feel how I hurt, because hurt people hurt. So if I can find a way for me to forgive you, it has to not only be verbal, but it also has to be in my heart. Because if I say it verbally and I don't mean it, my actions won't change. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really love, because love is able to remember, but at the same time remember why. So I remember what happened, but at the same time I remember why I'm committed to you. And so some of my friends, they asked, well, you guys are talking from a place where you guys never been divorced. So you're talking all this happy-go-lucky, but I'm divorced. How do I get back out there? If you are divorced, don't let that deter you from being married again. Because I know some people say, the experience was so bad that they will never get married again.
Right.
And sometimes before we get married, we got to look at the red flags. Because I know sometimes we're so in love and we practice these forgiving pieces, but we forgive a person who hasn't forgiven himself.
Right.
And so we find a person that is broken, but jump into a relationship, and as you can be as good to them as humanly possible, and they can't, or they don't have the ability to receive the type of love that you're giving them because they never received it before. And so you'll get into a relationship and you'll say, God, like, I'm giving my all to this person. At that point, when your marriage is going through, there are a couple of keys that I suggest. Not just things that, because people might want to hear, oh, just pray about it, because they need something a little more tangible and practical to do. One, you have to look at who you hang around. And so if you're around couples that's always fighting, complaining, or practicing unhealthy behavior, those habits will seep into your marriage. And if you hang out with a lot of single friends, you're married.
Yourself always out hanging out. You're married, but you're hanging out with single people. So.
And that causes a lot of tension in your marriage. One of the things that I really try to express to people is you cannot allow everything and everybody into your marriage, because it's so sacred, but at the same time you have to seek what you're looking for. So you gotta have a couple that's a little bit more seasoned than you, because if you're hanging around couples that only got a few years in and they're not really sure they're invested in one another, you'll take on that same attitude, that same persona. And so when you're around couples but got the same similar faith and the same goals, it will help propel you to where you're trying to go. The standards are the same. It'll help push you where you need to go. If anybody know anything about geese flying, they fly in a certain formation in order to help the ones that are weaker in the back. And so as you are traveling through life, you got to have a group of people that are propelling you when you get weak. So if you're struggling in your marriage, you got to have a couple that you can go to and sit down and say, look, this is where we are. We need help. Because a lot of times we isolate ourselves when we're going through situations where we feel like we can't handle. We'll isolate ourselves and we'll struggle in silence. Because most men, silence is where we live. Because we find it as weakness reaching out for help. Because it's hard for me to express how I feel if I've always been told man up. Don't show no emotions or don't show no weakness.
But I have to go. R.I.P. Ali, but I'm feeling like Cassius though. Rope a dope, then go for broke like hooking laterals. Holy mackerel, my flow should be international. Ooh.